I love delis. I love a good delicatessen. And I'm sure, as with you guys, we all have our favorites, right? Some of my deli favorites. It's got to be a good deli. A nice turkey and Swiss on a roll, mayo. I ask for a little bit of mustard, lettuce and tomato, salt and pepper. Turkey and Swiss, one of my all-time favorites. Of course, a pastrami Reuben, corned beef and Swiss, good tuna, good chicken salad. There's one sandwich that I don't order on a regular basis, but if I'm in a really good deli, I like those delis that have a really nice, clean, well laid out deli case, right? With all the glass, and I got all the trays lined up, beautifully displayed. You can tell the place is spick and span, you know, a really good, proud deli owner. And you can see all the salads, the macaroni salad, the potato salad. I love just looking down the whole case. And if I see it and it looks good, I can't resist. I'll have the shrimp salad on hard roll, please. Let's do some shrimp salad. Over to the board. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
Here's those Gulf shrimp. I think I've mentioned it on several episodes. They're ubiquitous in my freezer. I always have a half a pound in there at all times. So many versatile dishes you can do with them. But first things first, before we get to that, you can't have a deli sandwich without potato chips. So I've got the oven heated up, preheated to 200, air fry. I spared you guys the prep because we just did steak fries last weekend in the toaster oven. So same deal, I sliced them thin, soaked them in cold water, about 20 minutes. And let's go in, set the timer for 20 minutes and see what they look like. All right, that's done. We can get to our shrimp salad now. We got the beeper wandering around here, so if the camera gets bumped, the camera gets bumped. The beeps does what the beeps does. All right, now, there is a reason for this meal tonight. And it's because I wanted to use a few things up. One is this beautiful homemade mayonnaise. I made a batch 4 or 5 days ago. It'll last a good week, even longer in the fridge. This is from the fresh eggs, and I used light olive oil for this batch. A little lemon juice. It's absolutely splendid. Sorry, Hellmann's. I'll use light olive oil, or I will use 100% avocado oil, depending on what I have in the house. And the other reason for this, I've got an onion that was cut. I want to use that, just a little bit of it. And I've got one roll left. I made these hard rolls over the weekend. I had one left in the freezer, so I figured a little sandwich, had the shrimp. Want to use that last little bit of mayo. Now, what I am going to do though, these particular rolls were a little bit on the dense side, so I'm slicing it. And I like to carve out, that was me, not the beeps on the camera. I like to carve out a little bit of the bread because they are a little bit bready. And nothing goes to waste. These go in the breadcrumb dryer dish. They'll dry up. I'm even going to do a little on the bottom. These rolls are so tasty. I'll just toast up the bottom and the top a little, without all this dense bread in the middle, and then I get some breadcrumbs for the future. Perfect. All right, that's done. Let's head over to the stove with our Gulf shrimp. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
First thing we want to do is boil up our shrimp. So I got a little water on the stove here coming to a boil, but let's flavor them up a little. We don't want just plain water. A little beer in there. I'm not going to give the shrimp that whole Corona. Just enough to flavor them up. The rest is mine. A little lime in there. I find something tasty to sip with is a key part of the cooking and prepping process. At least in my kitchen it is. All right, a couple little pieces of bay leaf. I like to rinse these before they go in. These are dried. Fresh bay leaf is better. I used to have a nice bay tree. I'm gonna have to look into another one. Okay, bay leaf. Let's go. I got a lemon here that wants to be used up. So let's go in with this lemon. It's a half that I've been squeezing into various dishes. So we'll just put the whole thing in like that. Told you I had a cut onion. We're only going to use a little bit for the shrimp salad. So let's take this big piece of it, the cut piece, throw that in. And we'll just give that a minute or so to flavor up before we put our shrimp in. Now, you've seen me on several episodes cleaning the shrimp, shelling them, deveining them. In this case, when we boil like this, when we poach, you want to keep that shell on. And then once they're cooked, then you can shell them and clean the vein out, etc. These are going to get chopped. It is a salad. So, all right, we're coming to the boil. Water, beer, lemon, onion, bay leaf. I think that's pretty good. So let's go in with the Gulf shrimp. Give them a quick little stir. And we're just going to cook them till they're cooked through. We don't want to overdo them. And then we'll shock them with some cold water. Okay, they don't take long. Just a few minutes. That nice pink color. Let's get them out. And I've got a bowl of cold water here. I'll just shock them down a little. This is just, I don't have ice in there. This is not like a shock like with greens to lock any kind of green, chlorophyll in or anything. It's just to stop them from overcooking. So just a nice big bowl of cold water. And there we go. While these were in, I took a minute to head over to the board and I prepped up the onion and celery. I just brunoised. So now what I'll do off camera is I'll take the shells off, I'll clean them out, and I'll bring them back over to the board. And I'll see you over there to assemble our salad. All right, let's put this shrimp salad together. Here's those Gulfs, cooked in a little poaching liquid with water, beer, lemon, some bay leaf, onion. Let's give a little quality control. Yeah, see that nice poaching liquid imparts a nice flavor to them. I mean, shrimp are shrimp. They're delicious in my opinion. Just cooked in water or broiled. But every little piece of depth of flavor you could add enhances. So I'm going to give them kind of a rough chop. I'm not going to mince them down too small. But, this is a sandwich. We want a salad. So that looks pretty good to me. I got a bowl right here. So now let's add our onion. And I chopped a bunch. I certainly don't need all of this. I'm going to mince that a little bit finer. Oh, that's the celery. That could be that. That could be. That's why I did that larger. The celery. Those could be a little chunkier. Here's the onion. It's already nice, minced nice and fine. But I don't want to overpower it with the onion. I just want a little of that flavor in there. Kosher salt, cracker black. For herbs, I brought the outdoor parsley in. It's repotted on the kitchen window. I don't know how well it's going to do over the winter. So while it's still thriving, alive and green, let's get some use out of it. Hopefully it comes back. Grows on the windowsill. It is a south-facing window. But parsley, but here's what I'm going to add a little of. I had some beautiful volunteers. I did not plant this year, but it's a perennial. Every year a little bit of the dill comes back in a different spot. The dill seeds are so tiny that the wind just tosses them all around the garden. I love it. So let's take a little bit of this dill. This is, I brought them in fresh. This is not green and not dried. It's like on its way to drying. So, which is great because it's still got plenty of oils in it. Yeah, it's just about fresh dill. So there we go. I'm going to do just a few drops of this red wine vinegar. You could use lemon juice, lime juice, but I threw the lemon into the pot. And one of the reasons I'm doing this tonight, the last of the mayo. And when I looked at it, I was like, it's just about the right amount. I don't want to overdo it in a shrimp salad. You just want to coat them. So you're tasting that shrimp. It's got this beautiful fresh egg, light olive oil, lemon juice, with a touch of vinegar, mayonnaise. Look at that. Shrimp salad. Let's give that a quality control taste. It's absolutely amazing. A couple of grains of salt just to help bring all the other flavors back out. I go back and forth. You've seen me do my dipping spoon thing in many episodes. I just tasted off of this. And I noticed in the last episode I was tasting the, ooh, that's the potato chips. I noticed I was dipping my tasting spoon more than once into the gravy. But if I'm here by myself, those rules can slide by the wayside. I would never ever do that with guests in the house. Oh, it's better than any deli shrimp salad I've ever had. All right, so I'm going to check on the air fries, the chips, and in the meantime, I've got the roll in the toaster oven. Let me put that on broil, and I'll be back here to put our plate together. Man, I'm not lying or exaggerating when I tell you this is some of the finest shrimp salad I've ever tasted. I attribute a lot of that to the mayonnaise, but also our flavoring in the poaching liquid. Got these rolls toasted up a little bit. See how nice it is pulling out the inside of that bread? Gives you a little, almost like a bowl to deal with. And now you're not eating just all bread. It's the other sign. I was talking about delis before, and I was actually reading an article earlier this week about the what makes a great sandwich. You know, great ingredients, but also the ratio of filling to bread is key. So many places get that wrong on one extreme or the other. Oh man, there's nothing worse than not enough meat or salad or whatever or filling in your sandwich, but it's almost as much of a bummer when it's crammed so high with meat. It's just, you got to start pulling it off. It's a bummer. I'm going with some nice thinly sliced tomato. They had some nice ripe tomatoes at the market. Unfortunately, season's over here, although I do have some in the freezer. Both sauce tomatoes. Now, a little lettuce would be nice on here. Romaine, even iceberg. But I'm going with a little bit of this nice pungent, crispy watercress. And I put a few grains of salt on it and drizzled it with just a little bit of lime juice. Let's cap it off. Again, the little bowl effect catches everything on this home-baked sesame seed hard roll. Look at that. Okay, some chips. By the way, I was Googling air-fried potato chips. I saw a few recipes. I don't know what they were talking about with that 200 degrees. I think that's for one of those little basket air fryers. I wound up cranking it up to 400. Shrimp salad on a hard roll. To chips. Let's give this a go. Oh, it's a 2-napkin sandwich. I take that back. It's a kitchen towel sandwich. Phenomenal. The watercress, nice ripe tomato, fresh 2022 potato harvest chips. Unbelievable. And that last bit of Corona we stole from the shrimp. I'll see you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
B.